What is good? Osiris here. I am Middle Maga, and right now I was going to take the day off because of my voice, but Jesse Kelly woke me up. I am very much on Twitter because there's a lot of good information on there, and it's not just like factual information, it's the vibe, it's the energy, it's the direction that you can take from people, and Jesse Kelly's often a leader. Obviously, I don't always agree with him, but here is the tweet that I said that was like a cup of joe in the morning. Like when you get your cup of coffee, and you get energized, you feel awake. Here's Jesse Kelly waking people up. Here's the tweet. I'm so embarrassed by our side sometimes, how weak and pathetic we are. This is how the populace sound sometimes. I condemn this and I condemn her, and have you condemned him and you haven't condemned that? Barf. Bunch of freaking weaklings. Stop playing defense, you losers. Offense at all times. Offense. His next tweet. Biden out here looting the treasury and carving up civil liberties like a Thanksgiving turkey. And 50% of the GOP politician pundit class is giving him statements about some 120-pound virgin who weaseled his way into a meeting with Don Dada. He's referring to Nick Fury. I like Nick Fury, but that's the right response. Don't come to me talking about some 120-pound virgin. Let me tell you what he should respond with. This is through Jesse. We have got to change our eunuch mentality. Jesse says, do you condemn? This is what you say. If somebody says, do you condemn X? Do you condemn Brandon playing grab ass with every person he really shouldn't be playing grab ass with? That's how you play this game. You talk about every taboo topic that gets you censored from social media and deranked, devalued, demonetized from the process we use to pick electors, people who represent us, to the child issues with the diary and Brandon, to a laptop, to everything. You bring it all out. That's how you play this game. That's how Trump of 2016 would have played this game. Back then, Trump of 2016, that bruh, he put on some combat boots. I should do some camouflage MAGA gear. He put on his camouflage, eye black, and he went to war. He went to the press and said, "You wanna have beef? Square up, whap whap, fake media. This is what you don't want to talk about. Oh, you want me to talk about some 120-pound virgin? Whap whap whap. Here, why don't we talk about this uncomfortable truth? Why don't we talk about this money laundering scheme? Why don't we talk about this going on? We can both play this game. Whap 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 whap, to the point where they don't want to talk about him, at least like that. They're like, okay, let's back off. You talk about some stuff because you amplify him. You give him a chance to get a message out that you open the door. Trump of 2016 would have taken that door. He would have opened it wide open. He was that bull in the china shop. As Michael Moore described him, he was that figurative Molotov cocktail in the political world to shake things up. And that, I don't know, after the speech where he announced at Mar-a-Lago that he was running in 2024, I like the speech because I don't always want to hear about those taboo topics. And I don't think that was the speech to do it. But I went back and listened to young Nick Fury's response to the speech. If you go to his website, you can search and find his website. He didn't like it at all. He thought it was terrible in real time, right after he was streaming it live. And the reason why is he wanted all those topics brought up. And my thought was, Nick, that wasn't the time. He will bring those things up when it's the time. And look at the brilliance of Nick, Ye, Milo. I know these are all flawed people. They're all brilliant. Brilliant people are also flawed. So I'm not ignoring their flaws. I'm not saying they're perfect, but I can look at where they're right. And they went to that dinner to actually praise Trump. Nick Fury on his live after the dinner, breaking it down, said, He said he told Trump to his face, "You're one of the greatest American citizens to ever live." I think he truly believes that. That's not a grift. Robert Barnes, he's great. I would support him for AG. So this is no beef. But his take on Nick Fury on his most latest Viva and Barnes upload was terrible. His end conclusion, I don't know if it's a grift or not with Nick. And I can't talk about Milo. I don't know Milo well. I know there's a lot of troubling things there, but I'm going to talk about Nick. Robert Barnes basically said Nick is just grifting off of Ye. That could be right. I don't know. But my big concern is the process. How did you come to that conclusion? And Barnes is way off. He doesn't know Nick. It was cringe how he got to that conclusion. So if you're going to listen to Nick about Nick and those people, you got to talk to people who really know about it. And I know about Nick. I know a good amount about Ye because I used to listen to Ye before he even really blew up like he is. So I'll end with this. If you want to support the channel, I actually almost take it to a bigger level. Support the whole movement of people who are doing this independently. Friend of show, Ray Studios. Friend of shows, Carlos and Salu, Patriots of the American Republic. And friend of show, Black Pegasus. No Spoon Podcast, Broken Traditions, that girl Casey. It's about supporting people who don't have money tied in or they're receiving money from people that prevents them from criticizing. So, for example, Trump might be, no one's more pro, for example, Israel than Trump, DeSantis. If there's one thing they agree on, there's a lot they agree on, but if there's one thing they agree on a lot, is being pro-Israel. You bring in Nick Fury, he's not. Trump probably has to go to these donors, and that might be why he's not coming out like that. Trump needs to be able to go to the donors and say, I'm still down with you, but I can't let the press attack me on some BS like this. So don't worry about what I say in the press. I got you behind the scenes. And then Trump needs to go full on, not defending Nick even, but just attack against the press. So my point is, you've got that money. If I were paid by some organization, I wouldn't be able to attack the organization, obviously, unless you want to quit. Same thing with Daily Wire. Candace Owens can't go after Ben Shapiro, really. Ben Shapiro can go after her because he's the owner guy, not the employee. So you've got to support independent media. I was just on with Last American Pubcast. Great people. Thank you guys and gal, Abby, for having me on. I think they are amazing. And they gave me a platform to be able to talk about these issues. They're funny. Like, this is a YouTube channel that I can't believe doesn't have like 500,000 subscribers. That's how good they are. And I'm going to end with a clip on that. So my point is, support just the whole, everybody resonates with different people, whoever it is. Like, subscribe to them. You don't even have to spend money. Share a video, and you've got to support that independent movement. Let me end with this clip. Thanks a lot. Take care.
President for this upcoming election cycle, and we had a pretty. We started to have a conversation before we came on air. I told everybody to save it until we got on air because I thought it was going to be a pretty good conversation to have. And with everything that's kind of happening with this election cycle, okay, we've had a lot of speculation with DeSantis, we have Trump, and now we got Kanye West, and we have all of these things kind of leading into a campaign, the primaries and stuff like that. How does this all shake out? How do you feel about it? And where are you guys at with your guys' thought process behind all of this?
Well, I can start. What they're trying to do, Kanye's not joking. He's being really serious, y'all. This is not a joke. He went up in there. He brought Nick Fuentes with him, and Trump didn't know who he was. So that was a very bold move by Kanye. If you don't know, Nick Fuentes is a highly banned commentator, very smart dude, whether you agree with him or not. And he's a huge Trump supporter. At that dinner, he told Trump how much he liked him. But they're making a move. They don't think Trump of 2020, they don't think the Trump of now is the same as Trump as 2016. They didn't even like the Trump of 2020 that much. So Kanye went in there and said, he wasn't joking, y'all. He said, Trump, do you want to be my vice president? Imagine that.
Yeah,
That's
I had
involved.
started out by
funny to
just
me.
saying that I think that's the power move, and I'll start by just repeating what I said. The Kanye, because we said this before the show. I think Kanye knows, and he's asked people, how do you become the vice presidential pick? And they all told him, you have to announce that you're running for president. You have to show that you want to be the big guy. Then that big guy has to be the guy who steamrolls you and then decides to take you anyways as the second guy. And that's kind of how he has to pitch himself. So he goes to Mar-a-Lago. He knows he's thumbing Trump's eye to ask him to be the VP, but it's the only way to differentiate himself and make Trump think he's serious. So I think Osiris is totally right. Kanye means it. He's serious. He wants to go all in because if he pushes all his chips in, he thinks he'll at least get a good viable shot at a VP pick and maybe be a part of the ticket with Trump in 2024. That's the calculus I think he's going to play.
Absolutely. It's a power move. If he could be VP or whatever. And if you look at the midterms, MAGA Republicans in general had a Gen Z problem. And you see Nick Fuentes on there. They're obviously not going to court. We're not in a world where you're courting anybody anymore. You're trying to bring people out. Nick Fuentes is a ground organizer type of dude. He can bring people out. Milo, however you think about Milo Yiannopoulos, he's got a lot of controversy with him. He's a very bright dude also. They'll be able to say, hey, we can solve your Gen Z, bring them out to vote problem. So now we have power in the movement.
What you think, BJ?
About which part? I'm just taking a lot in.
All of it.
It's a lot.
I've been there, man.
I think Tom's right. I think Kanye's doing this in order to try to, it's a tactic. I'm not sure if Kanye really wants to be, run against Trump, in that way. But I think that's kind of where everybody's at right now. Is like I feel like